Commissioner Barron.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Engineers report.
Mr. Chairman, we have the, first of all, the memorandum of agreement for the Federal Aid Exchange Fund, and I spoke with McKenzie during the break, and since that is just for the, general funds for that type of funding and not just specifically for that one project, she thinks it'd be a good idea to just suspend the rules and do that separately instead of doing it under that industrial access project.
Okay. So the first motion will need to be.
Did I get that right?
Suspend the rules.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Copeland. This requires a roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Motion carries, and now we need a motion to adopt the amendment.
I make a motion that we adopt the Federal Aid Exchange Funds agreement.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Barron. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next we have our final proposal for the flood damage prevention ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, I put that in motion.
Motion by Commissioner Barron,
Second.
second by Commissioner Copeland. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, that's all we had.
Okay. Anybody got anything?
Let's talk briefly about what you and I were just talking about. Part of this issue that we've got, that we're going to get a harder number on, the way the engineer, and you interrupt me if you think if I'm speaking wrong, that it needs to be handled is that he needs to, if everybody's okay with this after the next meeting, take the projects that we fear we're not going to have funding for and bid them out as alternate bids. Is that worded correctly?
Yes.
And set this money aside, hopefully after this next meeting, that as they are bid out, they are paid out of this separate little pool of money. But we have a issue, and I wish I hesitated to say anything because Commissioner Wright is out tonight, but I think it needs mentioning. We've got, the county does, on the north end of the county, some very serious base failures in the north part of the Needmore Road and on the road between Lockheed and China Grove that have been brought. We've seen them, and we've had some other individuals with the state mention them, that those roads are 3 or 4 years down the road from needing to being on the list to be paid. But we feel like we need to do, and Homer and I've talked about it, go in there, and if it's just cut out a 15-foot section of the road and adequately bring that base failure back up, and when people hit it, their car's not falling out from under them. Pick up from there and talk about how you wanted to try to.
Yes, it's
that.
just some rough spots where a lot of it is just deep rutting from poor subgrade issues, and I feel like what we could do, and I haven't really analyzed it or don't have an exact number or anything, but I think on those 2 road sections that he's talking about, which is about a 3-mile section of 7708, and then about a 4-mile section of 7707, which we have applied for funding for under the Rebuild Alabama grant and haven't received anything yet. But on those 2 road sections, there are some spots that we feel like we could go in and just do some spot leveling, or get a contractor to come in and do some spot leveling for us, and make those a little bit more palatable to the traveling public. We have received lots of complaints on it, and they have gotten a lot worse recently, it seems like, at least on 7707. So some of the funding that Commissioner Johnson identified that was really some of the funding that was going to the 24-month plan that is now
because
not really
not inactive, is sitting there.
Right.
He made the comment he thought some of these issues, those issues in Commissioner Wright's district, which I think are a big enough issue, and they're not in mine, we need to get them addressed before somebody's injured, that he could do for less than $50,000, which he would just be able to deal with internally. We wouldn't have,
just through a purchase order.
Yeah.
I almost, I I've been up there and we've had a couple of calls last week about some of them, and I'd almost wish there was a way we could, if McKenzie was okay with that, was to try to go on prior to dealing with these overruns on the 2020 resurfacing, deal with that, because it needs dealing with.
And this wouldn't be, by any means making these roads look like new or anything, far from it. Just trying to
them
level
safe.
up those worst spots that are just so pronounced and noticeable. So basically, I mean, it would just be permission to issue purchase order, anything up to 50,000. 50,000 is the Public Works law threshold, so anything below that doesn't have to be bid out. And the idea is that these spots are bad enough that we probably need to go ahead and try to do something with them.
It may be, they may be repaved in the next 3 to 4 years, but they're serious enough. It's an issue, I don't think, even though it ain't my district, it can go 3 or 4 years left like it is. And how, McKenzie, interrupt here, how,
I think we would need to do some budget revisions before,
For the 2-year plan?
well, the 2-year plan's done. Y'all
Yep.
have completed that, take care of it. This is some money that we had moved around from other places, because ultimately what would happen is we would have to fund this through the general fund, but there would be some other movement of money for some other funds, and so we need to do some budget revisions. So I would need to bring to y'all some budget revision sheets to be able to do it.
To the next-
This is something we could do in 2 weeks, and I can get that together.
Can
Okay.
y'all collectively put us a memo together about
Yeah.
what we're fixing,
For everybody.
how we're paying
Yeah.
for it, so we can,
Yeah, where's the money
we
coming
can
from?
see
All
each
that.
fund that we're pulling money out of,
Yeah, we need
and each road, and, I mean, you don't have to, just make us understand where all these places are.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Just give you the locations and kind of what we think we,
Right.
and like I said, we haven't even analyzed yet exactly what it's gonna take, so
Okay.
we can do that.
Anything else for the engineer? You got anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
EMA, you got anything, Mr. Herb?
Nothing else, sir.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, anybody got anything to add?
Nothing else.
Okay, McKenzie? Let's go ahead and bring Dana up too. Let her talk about what she's got going on with the junior chamber.
Let you go ahead.
Well, thank you for having us tonight. These are 2 of our junior ambassadors. We do have 16. They are very involved, which is why so many couldn't be here tonight. They represent each of our 4 local high schools. There are 4 from each of our high schools as the interview-based process. They're selected, recommended by their administrators. They have to complete a certain number of activities, one of which was to come to a county commission meeting. They are exposed to local government and a different number of economic sectors in our community and how we all work together to make Pike County a great place.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for having
Appreciate
us.
it. Thank y'all for coming.
Okay, the first item I'm gonna talk about, I did talk about earlier, but the surplus of the vehicles in the sheriff's department, and we will roll that forward to the current business for the next meeting.
All right.
Secondly, will be the request that you all have in front of you for a general leave of absence, and I would like to ask you to suspend the rules and vote on that.
Okay.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to honor the request.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Johnson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Copeland. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 And now we need a motion to approve the request.
I make a motion to approve the general leave of absence through the sheriff's department.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Copeland. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the next item I would like for you to consider is the county levies on alcohol license.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Barron,
Second.
second by Commissioner Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have.
Okay. Closing comments, Commissioner Barron?
Just keeping the prayers of the sheriff and his family, and keep the prayers of Commissioner Wright and Harris.
Good.
I echo that. A lot of tragedy recently around here, especially tonight, 2 commissioners out with different types of medical issues, and just keep them all in your prayers.
Commissioner Johnson?
I echo other commissioners.
Okay. Nothing else come before the commission at this time. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Barron,
Second.
Second by Commissioner Johnson, by Robert Rules, we adjourn.